Welcome back to the Soft and Wealthy podcast. You guys know I had to bring on this final guest for this season. It was a little bit of a close call, but we made it just in time before the release of season one, and I'm so happy because I really wanted to have her on. This young lady has inspired me since the day I met her. I just love her energy, always full of energy. I love her drive, and I've always admired. You can always point out when somebody has a specific mindset, you know they're going to go far. And I've watched this young lady grow over the years. I've watched her, attempt to do different things in the industry, from real estate to credit repair to just being a rock star, inspiring people online. So I know I had to bring her on my show just to give her a shout out and to continue to do what she does best, which is inspire. So without further ado, please welcome Miss Michelle Coleman to the stage.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Michelle Coleman. I am so excited to be here and this wonderful opportunity to speak with you, Miss J. So, hello.
So we kind of got a history that goes back. I mean, I just like I said before we started to record, I'm non-existent in your story. I was just your realtor. We met probably via Facebook, and you asked me to help you out to buy a house, and that was my introduction to your life. And you know, since then, I just been seeing so many things from you, and some. I remember coming over your house at least twice, the first house and the second house, because she did buy two houses in 1 year, because that's
Yeah,
what
I
bosses
did.
do. And I remember having some conversations, and each time I left, I always remember thinking she has one of those brains that you find that you don't find. It's like a needle in a haystack kind of mindset. And I just knew that whatever you was going to do, you was going to go far. So take us back to baby Michelle. Like, where do you come from? What is your story? What do you want people to know about your story?
Yes. Well, I was definitely born down south. I was born in Tennessee, but I was raised there in Jackson, Mississippi. And I could definitely say, going back to childhood, you could even ask my mom. My mom would say me and my sister could sell somebody's shoes off of their feet. I mean, we were always salespeople. I mean, from childhood, still in adulthood, it was always that entrepreneurship mindset that we had since being a child. I mean, going door to door selling candy bars, going door to door selling cookies. We would sell candy just to go buy candy. It's just a simple
Mhm,
fact
mhm, mhm,
of having that ability to sell and be able
mhm,
to help people gain something that they want. And at that time, as a child, it was candy. And then we had the ability to also go buy the candy we actually liked. So, it's
mhm.
just we always have that mindset of always selling. So it was just that simple fact of starting that as a child and growing into adult. It was just entrepreneurship. I want to own my own business. I already have my own candy.
Yeah.
I did great owning my own candy. Now I want to have the ability to own more and continue to help people, service people, and get a good, experience. So from childhood was just having winning garage sales. I mean, we would have garage sales contests in the neighborhood of who can sell the most clothes, and we would be the only two. I would be especially the main one, just in front of a table saying, "Hey, come and look at this amazing extra large dress that can probably fit you even if you wear size small," and they still bought it. I mean, they still bought that extra large dress, but it's a simple fact that making the clients happy, making that customer happy, making that customer feel like the best person in the world, and just seeing that person smile and being able to acquire this dress, knowing they probably would never wear it, but the simple fact that they was just so happy with that experience was like, I'm going to continue to do this even into my adulthood. So
Yeah, a lot of people actually have that. When I talk to entrepreneurs, I feel like we all have the same origin stories. Like we all started off selling candy for some reason. I guess because that was the easiest thing that we can grab, and like our target market was our peers. And I felt every entrepreneur has the same story. And then they read the book, probably Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or something like that, and
Mhm.
then their life changed.
Well, entrepreneurs definitely think a lot to a certain extent. And with us having that same background of starting with candy and now we're all growing up to explore other options when it comes to sales and adulthood, that's just how great minds think. It starts somewhere and also learning from others. I mean, even other salespeople that started somewhere and you read their story online and you're like, oh, wow, I can relate to that individual. That individual went through the same journey I went through the same difficult avenues I had to go through. We can relate, and that individual is a multimillionaire making six figures, seven figures, eight figures. Why not me? You know, so having that mindset that most entrepreneurs have is kind of like, I can do it, they can do it, we all can do it. It's hard, but it can be done.
Yeah. So talk about like, okay, so at a young age, you're selling candy and you kind of already got that ambitious bug in you, like having competitions with your sister, your
Hmm.
twin sister, by the way,
Yes.
and just kind of feeding off of each other, which is nice that you guys get to grow up as twins and have each other to feed off of.
Hmm.
Um, so when you're older now, like what is life like? Like how did you get to the point of I'm working my job and now I want to branch off and start my career?
Well, actually, at the age of 19, somebody came into us. I was working at a gas station and came into a gas station, and they was just dressed up so nice. Turns out they were selling life insurance with Primerica. So I did personally get insurance license at the age of 19. Just having that person coming into the store one day, and I asked them, "What do you do? Like, what type of work do you do?" I'm over here going to school during the morning time, trying to get marketing in business management there at Brown Mackey, and then I'm working third shift at nighttime. And I see this person come in with a nice outfit on, a brand new car, and I'm like, "What do you do?" So he tells me that he sells life insurance. So I did get life insurance license, and then that's when most of my entrepreneur lifestyle pretty much started. Was once I attended a class that a life insurance company, Primerica, was doing, and it just opened up my eyes. I was like, wow, selling life insurance, selling different type of policies. And then that's when I really started getting into the sales world of going door to door and now having that ability to sell different type of life insurance products to different individuals. So going through that avenue and being life licensed for many years from the state of Mississippi to Ohio, then getting licensed again down south, working for a number of different insurance companies, getting then health insurance. I worked for several health insurance companies and then supplemental companies, once again, going door to door and educating our community about life insurance and why it's important to have life insurance, and also winning many contests, trips to Mexico and trips here and there for being the top salesperson within the health insurance market there in Mississippi. So that was a great experience learning.
So when did you come to Columbus?
So I moved to Columbus like 6 years ago. Down south, when I was selling insurance with Combine, which was a supplemental company where they did health insurance and supplement products when it comes to short-term health or um, disability insurance, long-term insurance. They closed. They closed the agency that I was working for down there in Jackson, Mississippi. And then I got licensed with car insurance and home insurance. So with me getting licensed in car insurance and home insurance, I did work with Allstate. Actually, a relative of mine owned a Allstate agency there in Jackson, Mississippi, but he was also starting in the process of closing his agency. So unfortunately, with down there down south, the insurance business was not the best. I found myself with agencies that was unfortunately constantly closing, not because of my numbers, but because they just is just down south. So we did have the ability to move up north. I transferred my license up north, and then I started working for a health insurance company. So about 6 years ago, I moved back up north and then worked with a health insurance company for a little bit. And then I got back with Allstate and started selling car insurance and home insurance with another Allstate agency.
So how does that, so you're this award-winning insurance person. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, insurance is a very powerful industry to be in. Yes, it's very lucrative. Most of the millionaires that's created from entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them are in the financial services industry. So if you can have the tolerance to break into this industry, regardless of which niche you choose, whether it's health, life, auto, the combination of everything, or you go into the more advanced markets, is a powerful understanding the importance of these tools is going to help you make an extreme impact in your community and also in your personal life. So if you're looking for a career to branch into, go into some type of insurance. You'll be set
Absolutely.
as long as you have the drive to do it, because most do
Hmm.
fail, you will be set. Now, Michelle, you are, like you said, you've been selling for a long time.
Hmm.
Um, and you've been knocking down these doors with insurance, which is amazing. What led you to building your credit repair business?
So I started a credit repair business back in pretty much 2018 before the pandemic there. And why credit repair? Well, unfortunately, when I was very young, a little bit younger, I was a victim of identity theft. So I actually had to go through a lot of process that my credit clients most have to go through, which is sending out letters, battling with the big major companies. So unfortunately, I went through identity theft with a loved one, a family member that stole my identity, and I had to go through that battle. And seeing those companies,
A
those big
family
companies,
member?
yes, a family member. So
What?
yes, that honestly, most identity theft happens with somebody that's close to you. I mean, to get your
What?
personal information. Yes,
Wow, that's crazy. So what did
yeah.
they like? What happened from that? Did they like get credit cards in your name or something?
Yep, credit cards in my name, wound up buying a car in my name, and just did a whole bunch of unfortunately stuff in my name. So
Wow.
had to go through to get a police report. I had to go back and forth with the creditors, and it was just a big fight. It was a big fight, stressful fight, battle. Because at the end of the day, sometimes those big credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, they're not always on your side. They're pretty much never on your side, in my opinion. But going through that process and succeeding through that process of getting those items removed and being able to get my score back where it belongs, it kind of opened up my eyes where I want to help other people that unfortunately went through identity theft, help other people get their credit score good so they can go buy homes. Like I bought my first house at the age of 24. So, I want to be able to give other people those same experience of buying a house and then eventually involving into business credit. Once you start getting into the business credit world, that opens up a whole nother set of doors. So just having those opportunities that I had that changed my life a lot, I want other people to have that same experience. And most of the time, most people battle with credit repair. So I was like, this is a perfect time to put my skills and turn my tragedy into success by helping other people. So having that ability to do that just based on my own story and what I had to go through and with my own lifestyle was like, it's time to open up. First, it was the Coleman State Credit Repair Services, and then we went through some rebranding, and now we are the Wealth Consulting Group because the Coleman State moved a little bit more over to my real estate business that I also pretty much started between the same time of starting the credit repair services. So we did transition to the Wealth Consulting Group after we rebranded in 2022, 2020 to 2022. We started that rebranding.
So what? Tell us about the real estate business. What are you doing with that?
So with the Coleman State JC LLC, after I purchased my first property, and then I started the process of building, and then when I'm in the process of building the house, I was getting my first property ready to be a rental property. So put that on the market to get ready to find some tenants. Found some wonderful tenants to occupy the home. They're great. Working with building my house, and then started building my house. I occupied the house that I just recently built and doing some wholesaling. So we did have the opportunity to wholesale 3 properties. We did 1 property here in Reynoldsburg, another property over there in Gahanna, actually, and then another property in my home state of Jackson, Mississippi. So we wholesale some properties where you buy properties at a lower market and then you resell to other investors at a higher price. So we did have that opportunity with my twin, my twin sister, whose name's Michelle Rochelle. We wholesale some properties throughout that time frame when it comes to the Coleman State. So that's what we use that business for, was wholesaling, and then also partnering up with other people to help them do a fix and flip. So also be private investors when it comes to other investors.
So
Money.
we got to break that down a little bit because we have readers here who
Mm-hmm.
don't know what you're talking about.
I'll break it down. So wholesaling is pretty much assignment contract. So you can put a property assigned in your name, temporary, and then you can assign that property to a end buyer, to an investor that wants to rehab the property, meaning fix it up, and then put it back onto the property onto the market and sell it at a higher price. So what we were doing with the 3 additional properties that we were able to acquire, we temporarily bought those properties underneath an assignment contract. And then we went to go find a end buyer, which is an investor, somebody who had a lump sum of money that wanted to invest into properties, but did not want to go through a bank most of the time. So most of
So
those
what's an
investors.
assignment contract?
So an assignment contract is when you put a property underneath contract, and then you assign that property to an end buyer. So you're just you have to go to certain title companies that will do an assignment contract. So you're just assigning that property. You're selling that property, assigning that property to an end buyer. So not all title companies will do that, but you just assign it, meaning, hey, I bought it for this certain amount, but I'm going to give you an assignment fee. So they're going to have to give you a certain dollar amount for that assignment fee. So instead of a realtor selling it and getting their commission, a wholesaler gets something called an assignment fee. And that's because you found the property for them and then you're assigning it over to them. So they have an assignment fee within that buying.
So I think what will lose people a little bit is the whole thing about buying. So you're not, just to clarify, you are not actually buying a property. You're basically making a promise to pay. Sometimes you can offer like a down payment or a deposit or something like that. But if you're a really good negotiator and you are really good with, building trust with that person, sometimes you don't have to put down any deposit and you just get into contract. And typically that contract has an expiration date. So before that contract expires, your promise to pay has to be reassigned to somebody who actually has the money to purchase the property. And
that is correct.
Yes, absolutely no money whatsoever, which is why anybody that's thinking about getting into real estate, I always tell them to think about wholesaling, because you really need sweat equity to do that. Sweat equity is just everything, using the tools that you have in front of you: time, your brain, free Wi-Fi from anywhere, a phone, a word of mouth, social media, whatever you have in front of you, you can use to find distressed houses, locate the owner through skip tracing, which is basically finding the owner, like go looking up court records and documents and stuff online, using certain services that provide skip tracing services, and finding the owner, negotiating to buy that house at a less under market rate and reassigning it. That's wholesaling. So you did 3 of those. How did you find your clients to wholesale? Your niche sellers. Yeah.
Marketing. I actually invested in some marketing companies, and they did a lot of marketing for me on my behalf. So doing a lot of marketing on social media, Facebook, Instagram, doing some Google marketing. So just doing a lot of advertising. We buy, of course, if most of you guys may see those signs, we buy houses, or even assign a mortgage to an investor. So there was just out there doing what they call bandit signs. We were doing bandit signs. We were sending out postcards. So we were also sending out a lot of postcards within Ohio, in the suburb areas, and even other areas that just needed to have properties to be rehabbed to make the community more beautiful. So that's also why I liked the wholesaling, is because I knew that I would find somebody that will fix up the property and continue to enhance our community. So just a lot of marketing. And that's one thing that you would need money for, is marketing when it comes to wholesale, because you definitely have to market a lot and be able to get your name out there that you are wholesaling and that you are looking to find distressed properties, ugly houses that just need a lot of work. I mean, houses that have been caught on fire, or houses that won't be able to sell as quickly as being on the market online to actually go through that general process. But you're looking for a quick sale, something that can be done within 7 to 14 days. Wholesaling would be the best option to do it. So a lot of marketing that I had to do to find those 3 properties.
Can you name some of the companies that you invested in to help you market?
So one was Amplify. Amplify was a marketing company, and then it was one other one. I can't remember the other one, but I know it was Amplify, because Amplify cost me a lot. So Amplify was the main marketing company that I was using. And what happens with that not insurance company, but with that marketing company, they was online putting my social media posts and also doing skip tracing. So with Amplify, they do also do skip tracing. And then I did went through the whole package of having a VA to actually make phone calls. And
Mm.
eventually I found my own VA who I trained to do the skip tracing for me.
Yes, let's get into VAs. I love VAs. Where did you find your VA?
From a VA company that's online, Instagram. So the best thing about
Instagram.
social media is that you can find good resources when it comes to social media. And honestly, a lot of people, when I got into the business, they started reaching out to me. So they like, hey, we have
Hmm.
VA companies, we have skip tracing companies. They'll reach out on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And then some of them, you want to do your research. Not everybody can be trustworthy on social media. But there are a lot of companies that are. So I actually had one young lady who was over there in Bahamas. She owned a skip tracing company, very affordable rate when it comes to a VA and skip tracing. So she reached out to me, went through her whole interview process. I interviewed her, and then I got to know the young lady that was going to be taking my calls. So with Amplify, I did have a CRM. So with that CRM, I was able to have them record the calls. So I did watch her and listen to her, and she did speak some good English. She actually had a good, proper English tone where she was able to take those calls, make those calls, and work those hours when I needed her to
And
make those.
that's really leading your business into the soft and wealthy mindset. So when I talk about soft and wealthy, everybody has their own different perception of what I mean when I say that. And a lot of time it's very surface level. Like,
Mm,
oh, you're living a soft life, it's very aesthetic, and then you're wealthy and you just got Louis Vuitton and Chanel. And that might be somebody's version of soft and wealthy, but that's not my version of soft and wealthy because I've already had all of that. And life was
mm,
still hard and rough.
mm,
So so for me, soft and wealthy is literally creating ease within my life and allowing me to live my life without the burden of having to be tied down to any specific location or position, being
mm,
able to grow incompatibly by utilizing systems, tools, and outsourcing, and being able to dedicate time to the most important people in my life, which is my family and more importantly, my daughter. So
mm,
that is soft and wealthy to me, right? So when you talk about utilizing VAs and entrepreneurship and starting all these things, that's exactly it. Like that is exactly it. One resource that I use for my VAs because I'm a hands-on type person. Like I do it's this staffing company called Pineapple. I think not Pineapple Express because I know that's a movie, but I know it's like Pineapple Staffing or something like that, and they house
mhm,
VAs. I went through different VAs staffing companies before. But what I didn't like is that they would charge me like $10 an hour, and then they would pay the VAs like $3 an hour. So for me, I was like, why don't I find a VA personally, pay her $6, pay her or him $6 an hour, really make an impact for their family, and then still have them in house. So I always find and interview my own VAs. I use a site called Online Jobs .ph. Like I just make a job posting for whatever position I have available, and I'll get a bunch of applications, and then I can have like a series of interviews with these VAs where we're doing face-to-face interviews, phone interviews. I need to hear how they speak. I need to hear how good they are with communication back and forth. Like, would they get the jargon? Like if somebody was talking and they made a joke, would they laugh? Certain things like that you can know what kind of person you're dealing with, or if you're dealing with a more serious person or a person that has more of a bubbly personality. And a person with a bubbly personality, you will put them on the phone. And a person that's more
mhm.
serious and analytical, you probably have them on the back end, not necessarily talking to customers. But the highlight of all of that is that you get your most valuable asset back, which is time.
Yes, that is correct. Which is
And you're
time.
making an impact. It's time. Time is you just can't get enough of that, right?
Mhm. And you're
And
also giving jobs too. You're
yes,
giving jobs
exactly.
to a lot of other people. And that's what's also important is like, hey, let me teach you how to do this, show you how to do this, then you can learn, and now you have a job. right? So, you're helping with employment, which everybody wants a job. So, and also you're
Yes.
getting that time back too. And that's what I wanted the most, which I'll spend anything to get time, and
Yes.
if I need to
Yes.
hire a VA or hire a software or do everything with automation, which most of my business are automatic to this point, I will do that. But you get that right back. That's an investment into getting more time on your hands. That's getting an investment to spend more time with family and friends, and also it give you time to invest in other projects and other jobs and
Yes.
other businesses.
Yes.
So time is money. So why not invest into getting something back in return, which is more freedom.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. So right now, what do you're focusing more on the credit aspect of things?
Yes, yes. I'm very happy where my business stands now. I done helped so many people with their credit. That helped so many people have the ability to start gaining home ownership. Now helping people with getting into business credit and helping them go and invest into certain business companies that will give them a line of credit because they went through my program to work on their personal credit first. To even start on business credit, you need to make sure your personal credit is top notch clean, because that's how they're going to weigh a lot of that approval and what type of credit lines they're going to apply you for when it comes to business credit. But right now, my business credit is flourishing. It's very successful. I'm very happy where it is. I even had the opportunity to hire some assistants, and I have other employees helping me and also assisting when it comes to my clients. I have so many right now. I had to reach out for help, which is hiring more people to oversee some of these clients that I have. So that is expanding, constantly growing. Next year, it will be just as bigger. I will expand with some other nice resources when it comes to the credit repair business. But as of now, it's definitely going pretty well. I'm very excited on where it's going to end up in the next 5 years.
So where, yeah, that was one of my questions. I love asking that question. And I'll get to that in a second. But what advice, like just getting more into the credit repair aspect, when you're talking about business credit and personal credit, I don't want to glaze over those topics. So in order to get business credit, because all this entrepreneurship stuff is great, and for those
Mhm.
things that you do need money in, you should be looking into while you're doing the sweat equity. You should be looking into how I can raise business credit so that I'm not using my personal money to fund business expenses. So
Mhm.
take us on a journey from somebody who wants to get business credit, but right now their personal credit is a little messed up. They hear all these things online about how you can get credit with no EIN.
Yeah, that's false. You're definitely going to want an EIN. You're definitely going to need your LLC. You need to make sure you have your business checking account. You need to make sure you have a website. You need to show that you are a legitimate business. There's so many business card companies. They're going to do their research and they're going to make sure you're a well-established business before they give you any type of business credit card or a business credit line. And highly recommend to work on that personal credit first, because I can definitely tell you this: most business credit card companies like American Express Business, Chase Business, Bank of America Business, they're going to decline you if your personal credit is not up to par. So it's very important to make sure that is at least above, I would say, 730, 740, with no recent inquiries, meaning nobody's pulling your credit for at least the last within the last 3 months before you applied for a business credit line. And you want to also make sure there's no collections, no delinquent accounts, no late payments or anything like that. It's just very hard. And even if you do get a business credit line, it would probably be like $300, $500. But if you're looking for something with several thousands of dollars, they're going to want to make sure your personal credit is up to par, because most of the time, the reason why they're going to hard pull your personal credit is because they need to be able to not only determine how much of a credit line to give you, but also see if you were able to manage other people's credit. So they're like, hey, if you're already late, let's see on Capital One, and you're already, maxed out 35% of your usage when it comes to this Capital One, they're gonna be like, wait a second, they're probably going to do the same with their business credit line, because they do not report to the same. They don't report to Equifax Trade your Experian personal side. It will definitely help you build up that business credit line. And you want to also have a DUNS number too, so you can also start building up that business credit. You can go through like Don and Broad Street there and get you a DUNS number. Pretty easy to do to get that DUNS number. And then you can start building up something called a Paydex score. So on the personal side, you have personal credit with FICO score and things that sort that goes all the way up to a 850. And then you have a Paydex score on your business side that go as high as 80, which other business credit card companies or business credit lines are going to be looking at your Paydex score. And that's pretty much built on different trade lines that's being reported to your personal side. So that's a trade line with Quill with a net 30 account, or with other business credit cards. If you have a Bank of America business credit card, or Amex, was an American Express business credit card, they start to report to your Paydex score. So when you're eventually getting to the point where, hey, I want $1 million in business credit, they're going to look at that Paydex score really hard. So, but you want to make sure that personal credit is top notch to be able to have a better chance of getting your approval instead of a quick denial if your personal side is not up to par.
So if somebody is coming to you and they had, recent inquiries and a late payment 2 months ago, and their personal score is like they recently had a repo last year, and let me think what else I can add on there. And they had yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and the score is like 592 or something. What would be your first line of action for them?
Hey, visit my website, startcreditjourneynow.com, and let's have a free consultation, a free analyst, and let's talk about this personal credit. I would definitely recommend for them to enroll into my wonderful credit repair program. And let's go through that journey of first repairing your credit and also learning knowledge on how to continue to build that credit up, even once we're done with our journey and you're happy with our services. So I would definitely encourage them to invest into a credit repair program, into a specialist that knows what they're doing, and have the appropriate letters, because that's what we do is we send dispute letters on behalf of our clients to start getting those items disputed, to eventually have them removed, and then you can see your score increase. But also you need to have that knowledge on how to continue to maintain that score once you have it high. So we'll go through that credit repair program as well, where with my clients, we have a Zoom every 90 days to have that educational meeting on how to continue to maintain our credit. Now, once I partially see that we are above that 740, you're not out there applying for certain things. Now that our credit score is like super high, you get excited. Like, no, don't go out and start applying for anything, especially if you're looking to get business credit cards, because they are going to ask for no inquiries there. I do have connections where I can actually have you linked up with a company that I work with, a referral company that I work with, and they can actually start that process for you of getting different type of business credit lines that you will more likely be approved for. So even going through my credit repair program, I do have connections with people to help and assist with eventually getting those lines established. But that is once I see that you even will be approved. So onto my program, getting where you need
So
to go. And then once we're satisfied with that, I'll point you to the right direction.
so how long is the process usually? Like on the description that I gave, their person probably needs a certain time frame. What would be the time
Mm-hmm.
frame you think that it would take for them to get out of the dirt?
I would say 6 months. It's going to take 6 to 12 months. I'm not that credit agent that's going to say, oh, we're going to have it done within 30 days, 90 days, or anything like that. It takes time. You did not get to a 500 credit score overnight. You're not going to get to a 700 credit score overnight. I do recommend for clients to stay consistent within a program within 6 to 12 months to get the best results that is possible and get those items removed, because we use something called the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, when we send up the dispute letters, and you have to, by law, give the credit agencies, which is credit bureaus, which is Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, you have to give them 30 up to 45 days to respond to each letter. So with us using those strong language in those laws, we have to also give them their time to investigate those accounts and remove those accounts. And it takes typically 30 to 45 days. And the reason why we put in 45 days is because we still have to mail them, which is certified mail. So we can definitely keep track that the credit bureaus will receive them. But once they receive them, then they have up to 30 days to respond to each letter. So with giving them that 30 to 45 days, it could potentially take up to 6 to 12 months. But many clients start to receive results within 45 days. So some of my clients, they start texting me within 30 days, like, hey, Michelle, this was removed off my credit, or hey, Michelle, my score increased 40, 50 points. So a lot of clients, they start to see some type of change within 30 days, but to get the max of changes there, I do recommend 6 to 12 months, and that's also staying consistent and staying in communication with your credit agent.
That's beautiful. So within that 6 to 12 months, are they ever required to make payments towards any type of debt collectors or anything like that?
No, they do not have to. At the end of the day, we dispute all collections, all late payments. We dispute them all. Honestly, some collections that's on there can easily still be removed because collection agency, they buy stuff in bulk and they buy the bare minimum. They never buy enough to even show that this account could potentially even be yours. If it's off spelling of your name, if it's an incorrect address, an incorrect date of birth, and it's not 100% accurate, it has to be removed. So that's what our company is doing, is we're investigating those accounts to see what is off and what's going on with this account, because most consumers have something that's incorrect on their credit report. These credit bureaus are reporting something wrong. 80% of credit reports have something wrong that can be disputed. So that's what we're looking for when it comes to those accounts. And then once we see something's incorrect, we'll dispute that. And if it is incorrect, the credit bureaus have to remove it by law. So that's also a process too. And that's why it could potentially take some time there, because the credit bureaus then have to go communicate that with the company that reported it to the credit bureaus. And if they don't respond in a timely manner, it's automatically removed. Or if they do respond, we didn't have to dispute again based on, hey, we need proof, we need facts, we need something showing signatures. So that's what we're doing, is we're fighting that battle on behalf of our clients on a monthly basis there. So uh, throughout that process, they do not have to pay, because of course, if they do pay, they kind of admitting to that as well. So we don't always say you have to pay. If you want to pay, that's fine, but it's not required throughout our journey, because we're going to dispute that on your behalf.
So did you ever have anything that you just couldn't get off for a client?
Yeah, we don't guarantee any results. A lot of my clients do get something removed. I don't think I have not one client that ever reached back out to me saying, oh, wow, you didn't remove anything. I can definitely tell you this. All of my clients have had at least one, 5, 10 negative items removed. But there are some accounts that are a little bit difficult than others. And if that does happen, we can have assistance with settlement options. So we don't start that settlement option until at least that 12 months mark. So then we can start having the conversation on what can we settle with and what can you afford to settle with. And then we'll assist our clients with sending out settlement letters to those companies. And then we are also requesting, before we settle, to have those items removed. So we're definitely still getting those items removed, and then we'll settle on the back end with a smaller dollar amount.
Okay, so you're working with the client until the item is removed, regardless if it's through the dispute process or a settlement process. You're advocating for your client throughout the whole thing.
Correct.
Because I know other credit repair companies, when it comes to the settlement process, they kind of just tell their client what to do and then back away. So you're with
Mhm.
your client throughout the whole process.
Absolutely. As long as they're with me, I'm with them. So, as long as you're constantly communicating and we're going through this process together and we did everything in our power to have those items to be removed, let's continue this journey and I will be by your side throughout the settlement. And honestly, if the item's not 100% yours and we have proof and we have documents, I will even assist when it comes to filing a complaint with the CFPB. So even if we have to go through the process of filing a complaint, I'm holding my clients' hands throughout the complaint process. So we are definitely holding our clients' hands throughout the whole entire process, no matter what, of disputing, filing complaints, or going all the way to a settlement. If we know that this item's not supposed to be on there, and most of the time when you file a complaint with the CFPB, a lot of times that will get removed as well, because we did have that proof and those documents and everything we need to file a proper complaint. So I am then assisting that client with filing a complaint with them. to still get them removed. So it doesn't matter what stage we are in, we will hold your hand throughout the whole entire process of you within our services in my program.
That's very good. That was a gem. That was a gem I was waiting for. Um,
Hmm.
so tell me, you said in the next 5 years, what do you see for yourself personally and also for your business in the next 5 years?
We are definitely helping more clients, going global if need be, helping all 50 states. We done hit several states already. Hit about 6 to 7 states where I have clients at. So would love to have clients in all 50 states. So we're going to continue to expand throughout the United States. There, I would love to get clients in Hawaii that needs me or anything like that. So we're going to keep expanding throughout the states to assist them. Also, going to eventually and invest into other programs and be able to have other people on board and hire another set of staff too. So as I continue to grow, I want to be able to hire more people to help me handle the flow of clients that I have coming in. So I want to expand with more hiring and also potentially get a bigger building, and within that building also probably expand to a insurance agency that will property own. So also working with the Coleman State Empire, and with the Coleman State Empire we will be able to have assistance with credit repair, have assistance with real estate, and then also have assistance with insurance. So eventually have a big building that will just be the Coleman State Empire, which will have everything underneath one umbrella so clients can come in and have assistance with insurance, potentially taxes as well. May expand into that as well.
I
We
was
done
just
these
about
five.
to ask you that. I feel like it's a conglomerate between those services. They have to eventually meet. Either you outsource or you partner or you absorb. But the taxes,
Mhm.
the insurance, credit repair, I feel like those they play so well together, and then you can still include real estate in there because that conglomerate of services should really be in house if you guys can handle the capacity. But definitely, if not, and your bandwidth is only to focus on one thing, because each industry does take a specific amount of brain power, and so you can't just dip and dabble into each one. But if you can build a department within your company, then you're on to something. So I was going to ask you where you're going to eventually include taxes in your business.
I actually did taxes before. I did taxes a long time ago. I did every finances you can right think of,
Yeah,
but I did
same.
taxes quite some time ago. And I love the tax business. I love the tax business. I did a little bit here, even up north, when I was doing taxes and insurance at the same time. So uh, growing into the tax business, I can definitely see myself doing that in a couple years. Once my credit repair business in real estate is at that 7 figure mark, 7 figures, not 6, 7, then did 6 figures, but 7 figures. Once I hit that 7 figures mark, I would not be, mind expanding into taxes. But that's the 5 year goal mark, is to be able to have a building that will have all of that underneath one belt. And that's what we'll continue to get real estate properties, because I would like to relocate out of the country eventually. And as my son gets older, he will have those properties underneath his belt. And then while I'm overseas, he can continue to manage those properties. So also building wealth for my son.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? I love how you always include your son in your business somehow. Either he's an assistant, he's the camera guy, he's helping like passing out flyers. I love that. I think it's so important to not just do the business while the kids are asleep, but make them a part of business. And that's a tax write-off.
Oh yeah, he's all part of the business. I mean, he knows when mommy's talking business. He knows about credit. He knows about real estate. He goes with us when we go look at properties that we're looking to purchase here shortly. He goes with us when I'm looking at properties to come up with numbers on how much to wholesale them. He done been in many abandoned vacant properties. He done seen it all. So he's definitely hands on. He's my number one assistant, my biggest fan, and he knows as he get older and he has this knowledge that eventually these properties are going to be mine. I mean, even on the property I'm getting ready to close here soon, this is your property. We went to go do inspection on it. This is what you're getting. This is what we're looking at. This, how do you like the bathroom? How's the floors? So just, asking him those questions just so he can get involved and feel like he's part of the process. He's always excited about that. So he knows so much about houses at the age of 10. It don't make no sense. But eventually
wow, he's 10 now.
He's 10. Yes, he's double digits. My baby is double digits. I was like, oh my God. But yes, 10. And he's been doing this since he was 5. I mean, when I bought my first property, he was right there at the closing table. So he done seen it all. And he's excited. I think he done seen it enough. He's like, wow, I done seen somebody's house.
But that's so beautiful. I love that, because the things that you're instilling in him now, he has no option. That's the way his brain works now, because that's all he knows. That's beautiful at such a young age. I can't wait to see 10 more years. It's going to go by so fast. Sorry, Mom. It's going to go by so fast. And I'm just so interested to see the young pioneer that he becomes because of everything that you're giving to him today. So good job, Mom. I might ask you back for next season to see where you are.
You're doing absolutely amazing too, and I'm excited to see more, and I would love to be back again. Is it just the insurance that you're focusing on now, or are you still dipping?
Yeah, I don't do anything I don't want to do. That's how I see my life. I love where I'm going with the insurance, and specifically focusing on a niche that I'm focusing on. I just love it, and I could do it from home, and I could do it from Guam, and I could do it from Fiji, and I can do it from anywhere. And I can outsource, and I can add, and I could build a virtual team. Those things stick out to me. Mm-hmm. Real estate, I will always love real estate. I've been doing real estate since I was a baby. I will always love it, but it takes me away from my child too much. I just can't do it. Mm-hmm. So it's extremely time consuming. And like I always tell people, just because, it was a hard pull away from something that was so successful. There was never a time in business where I wasn't successful in doing it, but that's not enough reason to stay. The money is good, but where are you getting up? And that took a lot of, processing and coming to Jesus for me to understand, like, just because you're good at it doesn't mean you have to do it. What's more important? And so that's very important for entrepreneurs too. You can't always chase the bag. You can't get all of the money. Sometimes you look, when you blink and your child is bigger and you're like, dang, 3 years went by just like that. And I really didn't get much quality time. I will give up my career if I could spend the last, watch my daughter grow into, a fully developed adult and be here for her. Absolutely. That's my choice. So that's where I am right now. I'm happy. But I wanted to ask you, what does soft and wealthy mean to you?
So what it means to me is soft and wealthy is being happy where you are, not going hard or miserable because you're not happy where you are, and also being wealthy. And wealthy is passing wealth to your children. So being able to educate your kids and pass that wealth down to your kids, and also sharing what you experience to them, and then they can pass it to their kids, and their kids can pass it to their kids. So turning your family into just a world of wealth where you just know in the next 10 generations, just because all the sacrifices you made and everything you went through to get this off the ground, the next 10 generations are going to be set up for nothing but wealth and happiness. So that's why I look at wealth, is when you start bringing it down to our children's children's children, children's children's.
Beautiful, because most wealth does inspire the year. That's why I keep going back to the things I love that you're doing with your son now. You're changing his mindset at a young age, because there are parents that build the wealth behind the kids' back, and the kids are just beneficiaries of the wealth. So they don't have the right mindset of how to keep up the wealth once you retire, or God forbid you pass away. So now that kid just has a bunch of money and entitlement, don't know what to do. The wealth is going within the second generation. So being wealthy is also passing on that wealth mindset too.
And planning for the future. I'm a very long-term goal individual. I set nothing but long terms, some short terms, daily goals, but I'm more focused on long term. So I'm excited to see what the next 5 and 10 years will look like, and I'm excited for my son's next 5 to 10 to 15 years, and then eventually his children's and children. So it's all about changing my family. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. Me and my twin, out of 6 kids, was the first to graduate from high school. I'm the only one who went to college, probably the only one making 6 figures right now. So, and the only homeowner as well in my family. So, being able to change that within my family, now having the ability to pull that down to my son, is very important for him to continue that journey, because I sacrificed so much to get where I am now.
Yeah, keep going, keep aspiring, and bring whoever wants to come with you.
Come on, get on that train with me.
I love it. Well, thank you again. And this is your time to do any promo. Do you have any specials coming up towards the end of the year? This is going to launch on Friday, Black Friday, so you'll be able to share your episode.
Okay, well, next month, anybody that enrolls into my credit repair program will get a free T-shirt, which is awesome. The free T-shirt does say "Cash may be king, but credit is power." So you get a free shirt for each enrollment. So definitely, please feel free to reach out to me through social media, or my contact number. Either myself or my assistant will be available to assist. Visit my website, which is www.startcreditjourneynow.com. Go ahead and start your free consultation, a free analyst. We do have appointments available, so you can go on there, book a free consultation with myself, and let's see how our services can benefit you, and then start that credit repair journey. But yes, next month we will be giving each client that on board onto the credit repair program a free T-shirt, and everybody loves something free. So definitely take advantage of a free consultation and a free analyst. Let's enroll into the program, and then be able to have the opportunity to get that cool, awesome shirt.
Well, thank you so much, and stay blessed.
Thank you for the opportunity, and happy holidays, you guys. Bye.
Bye.